as the French would say. And we are going to jump into our lead code. All right. So, today's problem. To do... Oh. Am I missing something? What is happening here? Okay. So we will do the sum of all odd length subarrays. Okay. Okay. So what are we being passed? So we are given an array of positive integers and return the sum of all possible odd length subarrays of array. Okay, that was a mouthful. A subarray is a contiguous subsequence of the array. Okay, so input 1, you have array 1, 4, 2, 5, 3, and then the output is 58. So how does that happen? The odd length subarrays of array and their sums are 1 is 1, 4 is 4, 2 is 2, 5 is 5, and 3 is 3. Interesting, okay. 1, 4, and 2 is 7. 4, 2, and 5 is 11. 2, 5, and 3 is 10. I see. And then 1, 4, 2, I see. So if we add all of them... Alright. So let's start off. I'm going to start off with a brute force method, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so let count, which is a number, equal to 0, right? And so we're going to have to iterate over this array. So I, which is also a number, equal to 0, where I is less than r dot length and I plus plus. Okay, now here is where we need to okay. So what are we checking? We need to check the array length, right? So we need to make sure if the array length is an odd number, essentially. So we will say let array, and it's going to be an array of numbers, right, equal to an empty array. Okay. Now, if array.length mod 2 does not equal 0, and oh wait, no, I can't name it array. I need to call it something else. What are we gonna say it? What are we gonna call it? Temp, right? Temp dot length is less than or equal to temp array dot length, right? Because we don't want to make we don't want to continue going if the array length, if the subarray length is longer than the original array length, right? So if wait, hold on a second. This is not gonna work. How is that gonna work? Because so what I will do is I will go over the array. This one's kind of kind of tricky because I think I might have to do like a nested. So we have to iterate over the arrays, and we will iterate with a length of 1. How would we go about this? So what is our counter and what is going to be, because, okay, so the first time we go over it, we're at 1. We put 1 into this array, and then we need to add that number to our answer, right? We need to add that number to our answer. And then we go over to the next one. So when we are on the first iteration, the subarray length is 1. When we're on the second iteration, the subarray length is 2. When we're on the third iteration, the subarray length is 3. Okay, so we will need a nested loop then. Right? So, because we're gonna say, now we're going to create our temporary number array, which is just this. And so if temp.length mod 2 is equal to 0, does not equal 0, right? What are we gonna do? Ants plus equals temp I, because it is a number, right? So on the first iteration, what does it do? And temp.length we can also do this. If temp.length mod 2 is 0, then we can just break, right? What was I doing here? If temp.length mod 2 r.length, I don't think that's gonna have to, like, we're gonna have to worry about that because it can't be any longer than the original array, but and I need to return ants here so that I can fix this. But on the first iteration, so I is 0, right, does not equal 2. Oh yeah. And temp.length is less than or equal to I. Then what do I need to do? I need to put that element that I am on, which is J, into the array. This is where I'm getting lost. I think this is gonna time out because it's too long. But anyways, we will push this, and as long it will keep pushing as long as the length of the array is 0. But it will also reset it each and every time, and then otherwise, break, else, temp ants plus equals temp dot reduce, right? And then we will do a PV and CV. And it's gonna be PV CV, and we'll start it at 0. Okay, so what's happening here? So we go over the first iteration, right? No, this doesn't look like it's gonna work at all. Before even going into all of this, I don't think it's going to work. What is it that I need to check? Because when I'm on the first one, if I'm on the first one, what I'll do is I'll check for an array of length 1, an array of length 3, and then an array of length 5, 7, 9, whatever, because it will keep going up to 100, right? And then the second one, I can do the same thing. So, we'll step into the first one, and we'll create an array. Right? We create an array of size 1. So then we need to create an array of size 3, then we need to create an array of size 5. So what's our next counter? Before we iterate again. So yeah, I think we do this here. This goes in here. Right? And we need to check for the length. Because the first thing is if the array.length is odd, sum it and push it. Right? Is what I should be doing. So now that I've created an array, we're in our first element. We're saying if the element is odd, if the array length is odd, push the sum of this element. So if temp.length does not equal to 0, but I need to say mod 2 does not equal 0, take that value and push it into the answer. Answer is equal to temp dot reduce, and we'll do previous value and current value, and it's going to be an arrow function of previous value plus current value with a beginning of 0, right? But if it's not, but before we check the length, we're going to say temp dot push the value that we are on, right? Right? So we do the first iteration, we push this into the array. Is the length this? Okay. And then we will reset. Oh no, we don't need to reset anything because we will continue pushing through, right? So it does at iteration 0. It will at least have to always be I. It will start where I is, and then go all the way to the end. It will push the element that it is on. It will make a check for the length, right? If the length is odd, sum up the array and push it, right? Perfect. Do we need to do anything? I don't think so. Then we go on to the next one. We're going to push that into the array, right? Because we're still on the first outer iteration, and now our array has 1 and 4. Let's just see how this works, actually. We'll just say console log temp here. I think this should do it. Oh, nice. It worked. Cool. So yeah, first time it checks, and then it pushes it in. And then it checks. If it does, then we'll add it. And then pushes it in. And then it checks. And then we'll go over again. Cool. Nice. I don't think that was too bad. But yeah. Stream, thank you so much for tuning in. Let me just submit this first and see that this is the proper solution. Now, is there a better solution out there? Beats 37%, beats 91% for runtime. Well, let's see. JavaScript. O of n solution. So sum is 0 and n is equal to array.length. Suppose n is the length of the given array. Number of subarrays including element r of I is I times n minus I plus n minus I. Because there are n minus I subarrays with array I as first. Okay, so this is requiring a little bit of math and yeah. Okay. Honest question, how did you come up with this formula? Okay, so let's see what this person did. Count it is equal to 0. This person used a triple nested loop. So helping in selecting the starting point, helping in selecting the endpoint, so that it only counts to the subarrays which have an odd length. Okay. Cool. Well, it's interesting to see other people's solutions. For beginners like me, runtime 80%. Right? So they did the same thing as me. Cool. Naive solution. Most optimized solution. Ends with I plus 1, begins with r.length. Total occurrence is this. Math.floor of the occurrences divided by 2 times the array of I. And this is, I think, just an algorithm, right? Because this could only be like the total number of times we can iterate is half the length of the array. Easy to read and faster version. So const ends with I plus 1. Okay. Begins with array length minus I. So if array length is 10 and I is 0, so it starts at 10 and ends with 1. Total occurrences ends with times begins with. Okay. 10 times 1, so 10 occurrences. Total plus equals to the total occurrences minus the floor of math of total occurrences divided by 2 times the array of I. Total occurrences minus even occurrences is equal to odd occurrences, which is fair. Yeah. Okay. That's some advanced math that I am not too familiar with, but I am going to end it here. Thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in. Let's actually raid someone. Cool. Let me see who is online. And we will see if we can rate someone that we know. Oh, Sam is online. So let's see if we can raid Sam. Thank you everyone for stopping by. I hope you have a good rest of your night. And I'll see you around.